Thunder cracked like the sky was tearing apart. Jay stood frozen under the store's broken lights, staring at the thing that had just fallen from the sky. Smoke rose from the smashed metal shell beside the dumpsters. It wasn't a car. It wasn't a plane. It was something else. Something not from this world. He stepped closer. The air felt heavy, like time had slowed. A strange figure crawled out from the wreckage, its skin pale and glowing, its eyes wide with pain. It looked human, but not fully. It reached out with shaking hands and whispered something that made Jay's blood run cold. "You're the one. Jay Corrin, it's inside you now." Before Jay could speak, the figure collapsed and stopped breathing. People ran past without noticing. No one saw what he just saw. No one heard that voice. Then Jay felt it, something burning under his skin. He pulled back his sleeve. A strange mark glowed on his arm, pulsing like a heartbeat. He was just a nobody yesterday. Now, he was something else. And whatever this was, it had only just begun. Jay didn't sleep that night. The mark on his arm kept glowing, soft but alive, like it was breathing with him. Every time he closed his eyes, he heard a voice whispering, calm, deep, and not human. At 3 a.m., he sat on the floor, staring at the mark. He tried washing it, scratching it, covering it. Nothing worked. Then, suddenly, it shifted. The glow turned red. A line of blood ran from the center of the mark. Jay panicked, but the blood didn't fall. It floated, rising into the air in a perfect sphere. Right in front of his eyes, it formed a message, written in a strange, burning language. He didn't understand the words, but somehow he felt their meaning. You have been chosen. You carry the last code. Run. They know. Before Jay could react, the lights in his apartment blinked out. Silence swallowed the room. Then came a knock at the door. Not loud, not soft, just wrong. Jay stood, heart racing. He didn't know who, or what was on the other side. But they weren't human. Jay stood frozen by the door, breath shallow. Whoever, or whatever, was outside wasn't moving. No footsteps, no shadow. Just the quiet sound of someone waiting. He peeked through the peephole. Empty hallway. No one there. But when he turned around, his window was open. He knew he hadn't touched it. Cold air swept in, the curtains barely moved. Then something shifted in the corner. A shape, tall, thin, and wrong. It didn't walk, it glided. Its face was smooth, no eyes, no mouth, just skin. And the sound it made wasn't a voice. It was like radio static trying to speak. Give us the code. Jay ran, grabbed the closest thing, a metal chair, and swung it hard. The creature didn't dodge. It shattered like glass, its pieces vanishing into black dust. The mark on Jay's arm flared white hot. His vision blurred. His heart pounded like thunder. From the alley below, more shapes were watching. Dozens of them. Silent. Still. Jay realized something chilling. They had already found him, and he had no idea what the code inside him even was. Jay locked himself in his basement, breathing hard, shaking. The world had turned upside down in just one night. Nothing made sense, except the pain burning in his arm and the voice inside his head that wouldn't stop. But this time, it showed him more. Not just words, memories, images flooded his mind. Cities, made of crystal, skies with two suns, soldiers in dark armor fighting monsters that looked like nightmares. Jay felt himself standing in the middle of it all, holding a glowing weapon, giving orders, fighting to survive. He saw a man, tall, with scarred skin and glowing eyes, speaking to a crowd. If I die, let the code find someone else. Let the war continue through him. Jay gasped. That soldier? He looked right at him. Suddenly the memories stopped. Jay fell to the floor, sweating, his head spinning. These weren't dreams. They were real memories. From someone else. A soldier who had died. Or maybe not. And now that soldier's mind was inside him. Jay wasn't just being hunted, he was becoming something no human had ever been. Jay woke up to the sound of someone humming, a soft tune, calm and strange. He jumped to his feet, still in the basement, heart racing. A woman stood at the edge of the shadows. She looked human, but her eyes weren't. They were silver, like metal, and glowing slightly. "I'm not here to hurt you," she said. "I'm here because you activated the code." Jay didn't believe her. "Who are you?" She smiled slightly. "Name's Kara. I'm from the breach, from the other side." Kara told him a story too strange to believe. Another reality, hidden behind Earth's own, had broken through. A place where magic wasn't fantasy. It was alive. And now it had leaked into Earth like a cracked pipe. Monsters, beings of thought and power, had started slipping through. Jay was one of the few people the code had chosen to stop it. "You weren't nobody," she said quietly. "You were always meant to be this." Jay stared at her. "Why me?" Kara looked at him carefully. "Because you're carrying something the enemy fears, and they'll do anything to take it from you." Kara led Jay through a dark tunnel hidden behind a junkyard. As they walked, Jay saw glowing marks on the walls, symbols just like the one on his arm. The air felt electric, charged with something powerful. At the end of the tunnel, the world opened up. A massive underground city stretched before them, built with old metal, wires, and alien tech. People moved fast, all marked like Jay. Some trained with strange weapons, others controlled floating tools with just their hands. It was a hidden war zone, alive and buzzing. "This is Haven," Kara said. "The last safe place where Earth's reality hasn't been broken." Jay couldn't believe it. These people were human, but changed, like him, touched by the breach. Some looked older than they should have been. Some weren't aging at all. Kara explained the truth. Rifts were opening all over the planet, tiers between realities. Every time one opened, a piece of the fantasy realm leaked through. Jay had to train now. He was no longer just a target. He was a weapon, and the next rift was opening soon. Too soon. The alarm blared through Haven, sharp and cold. A rift had opened in downtown Chicago. It wasn't small. It was unstable, leaking energy like a wound tearing deeper by the minute. Jay had barely started his training, but there was no time. Kara handed him a compact weapon that unfolded into a glowing staff. "You're going with me," she said. "You need to see what's coming." When they reached the surface, the city looked normal until they turned the corner. The sky above the street had split open like a crack in glass. From it, shadows poured out. Not creatures, shapes of fear itself, shifting like smoke. Wei fought alongside Kara. His body moved on instinct. He struck, dodged, blocked, just like in the soldier's memories. Then everything stopped. One of the larger shadows took form. A man stepped from it, his face scarred, armor cracked, and Jay knew that face. It was the soldier, the same one from the visions, the one whose mind was inside him. He wasn't dead, and now he looked at Jay with hate in his eyes. "You stole my code," he growled. Jay couldn't breathe. The man standing before him wasn't just familiar. He was inside him. The voice, the memories, the fighting instincts, they had all come from this soldier. But now, that same man was alive and furious. "You were never meant to carry it," the soldier snarled. "Give it back, or Earth dies." The rift above them widened, lightning crackling through the sky. Kara shouted for Jay to run, but something inside him refused. The mark on his arm lit up with blinding light, hot, wild, unstoppable. Jay screamed, dropping to his knees. Then, he changed. Reality warped around him. The air shimmered like water. Time slowed. Jay stood up, his body glowing, his voice layered with something ancient. He raised his hand, and the creatures from the rift stopped moving, frozen in place. Even the soldier stepped back in fear. Jay didn't know what he was anymore. Human? Weapon? Something in between? But in that moment, he made a choice. He would not run. If reality was breaking, he'd break it back. No one was stealing his mind, his world, or his future. Not anymore. Back at Haven, silence filled the room. No one spoke as Jay stood surrounded by scorched metal and flickering lights. His power had stopped the rift, but it had also shaken the walls of reality itself. Even the elders were afraid. Kara pulled him aside. Her face was pale, her silver eyes dim. "There's something I never told you," she said. Jay watched her carefully. "I wasn't just sent to protect you. I'm the reason the first rift opened. I created the device that shattered the barrier between Earth and the fantasy realm." Jay's stomach dropped. "You started all of this?" She nodded slowly. "It was an accident, a test. I thought I could bring controlled energy through, a clean source to fix Earth's climate, but I tore a hole instead, and they came through." Jay turned away, anger rising. "So I'm just clean up for your mistake?" "No," Kara said. "You're the last chance to fix it. You were chosen because you can carry the code, but it's changing you too fast." Jay's hands trembled. The truth was out now. Kara had started the war, and it might end with him. The sky turned red above Earth. Every screen, every signal, every power line went dark. People looked up in terror as a massive crack split the clouds, twisting, spinning, alive. The final rift had opened. In the heart of Haven, Jay stood in silence, eyes glowing, body trembling under the weight of the code. Kara stood beside him, her voice calm but heavy. "If you enter that rift, there's no coming back." Jay nodded. "I know." He stepped forward, the mark on his arm burning bright white. The code had become a part of him now, more than memory, more than power. It was rewriting him. He rose into the sky, pulled toward the rift like a magnet. On the other side, reality shattered. Colors bled. Time broke. And at the center of it all stood the soldier, the original code-bearer, twisted, corrupted, and now fully bonded with the fantasy realm. "You're too late," the man hissed. "This world belongs to us." Jay said nothing. He charged. Magic and machine exploded. Worlds collided, and in the silence that followed, only one figure fell back through the rift. But no one knew if it was still Jay.